Trump rules out nuclear strike on Iran. Orders naval action.
EU approves $105 billion loan to Ukraine. Adopts new sanctions on Russia.
Boosting domestic direct investment attraction.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Hoàng Yên, and here we go to first up of the show. U.S. President Donald Trump has ruled out the use of nuclear weapons against Iran while ordering the U.S. Navy to sink any Iranian vessels involved in laying sea mines in the Strait of Hormuz.
Opened it up 3 days ago. They came to us and they said, we will agree to open the strait.
Speaking at the White House, President Trump stressed that the U.S. can weaken its adversaries using conventional means and stated that nuclear weapons should not be used by any country. He said most of Iran's key military targets had been neutralized in the early weeks. And Washington is now focusing on pursuing a diplomatic agreement. However, he warned that military action would follow if negotiations failed to yield results. In a social media post, Trump also said he had ordered the U.S. Navy to destroy any Iranian vessels laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz and to intensify mine clearing operations in the area. Trump said that Iran's navy has been destroyed, with all 159 vessels at the bottom of the sea. He further claimed that the U.S. maintained full control over the strait until Iran accepts a deal.
The European Union has approved a loan worth 90 billion euros, equivalent to $105 billion for Ukraine, and adopted its 20th sanctions package against Russia, following approval from the Hungary and Slovakia.
The loan was finalized after disputes with Hungary and Slovakia were resolved following Ukraine's commitment to repair the Druzhba oil pipeline and resume oil transit operations. The loan is expected to be disbursed from the second quarter of 2026, helping Ukraine cover its budget deficit. President Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed the move, calling it a boost to Ukraine's defense capacity and its relationship with the EU. The bloc also adopted new sanctions targeting Russia by expanding blacklists in the oil, gas, and logistics sectors, adding restrictions on more than 20 Russian banks, and tightening export controls on technologies that could support Russia's military industry. Russia has criticized the move, saying it will increase the economic burden on Europe itself.
On the morning of April 24th, Prime Minister Lee Min-hoon chaired a national conference on accelerating the allocation and disbursement of public investment capital in 2026. The event was held both in person at the government headquarters and online with provinces and cities, including Nghệ An.
In 2026, the Prime Minister assigned more than VND 1 quadrillion in state budget investment capital to ministries and central agencies, in addition, accounting for nearly 35.5% of the total state budget expenditure, higher than in 2025. However, disbursement progress in the first months of the year remains slow. As of April 15, 2026, the whole country had disbursed approximately 127.4 trillion Vietnamese dong, reaching 12.6% of the assigned plan. At the conference, Prime Minister Lee Min-hoon emphasized that public investment is a key macroeconomic management tool and a pathway to achieving double-digit growth. He requested the clarification of responsibilities, especially of leaders, and called for specific solutions to remove bottlenecks and accelerate disbursement to create momentum for growth and infrastructure development.
Upcoming are some updated news.
The People's Committee of Nghệ An Province has issued a decision announcing the list of Grade 2 and Grade 3 urban areas, along with wards meeting urban development standards in the province. Accordingly, the province will have VIN as Grade 2 urban area and 22 Grade 3 urban areas. The classification is based on criteria including role, position, and socio-economic conditions, urbanization, infrastructure and spatial organization. The list does not change administrative units but serves to assess development levels. Support planning and resource allocation. Expand development space, investment efficiency, promote regional connectivity, and lay the foundation for a modern and synchronized urban system.
The Global Sourcing Fair 2026 has kicked off at the Saigon Exhibition and Convention Center in Ho Chi Minh City. This year's exhibition features more than 500 suppliers with 700 booths from businesses in Vietnam and key markets across Asia and several Southeast Asian countries. The participation of both domestic enterprises and FDI companies operating in Vietnam creates a diverse sourcing ecosystem, meeting global buyers' needs and enabling them to access large-scale production capabilities.
On the evening of April 23, at Le Van Tam Park, the Vietnam Banh Mi Festival 2026 officially opened, attracting large numbers of residents and tourists. Under the theme, Vietnam's Banh Mi, Global Culinary Value, spreading across 5 continents. The festival honors Banh Mi as Vietnam's culinary symbol. Running through April 26, the event features 168 booths showcasing a wide variety of banh mi and regional cuisines, along with experiential activities, seminars, and a Vietnam-France cultural space that recreates the development and cultural fusion of this iconic food. The festival helps promote tourism, spread Vietnamese culinary values, and affirms banh mi's position on the global culinary map.
Nghệ An has emerged as an appealing destination for domestic direct investment or DDI, thanks to its advantages in land funds, abundant labor, and increasingly improved infrastructure. However, in the context of intensifying competition for investment, the province needs to continue improving its appeal to achieve sustainable growth. More in the story today.
In Nghệ An's economic development PCI Ture, the DDI business sector is increasingly asserting a leading role in many key industries. By leveraging abundant limestone resources and favorable transport conditions, this enterprise has invested in modern production lines to improve productivity and product quality. In addition to generating large output for domestic and international markets, the company also provides stable employment for thousands of local workers.
Since the early days of operation, the company receives guidance, support, and accompaniment from local authorities and the Provincial People's Committee. This has been a foundation for the company to achieve good results in production and business, consistently ranking among the top 10 contributors to the provincial budget.
In fact, Nghệ An has huge potential but has yet to attract many DDI enterprises. To fully leverage its strengths, the province needs to continue improving the investment environment and building appropriate support policies for each sector.
We hope that the province issue policies that facilitate the development of infrastructure to support tourism and agricultural development. Secondly, there should be streamlined administrative procedures to attract businesses. Local budgets remain limited, so we propose that higher-level authorities consider allocating larger funding sources to invest in services and infrastructure items, especially transport roads.
Effectively removing bottlenecks and accompanying enterprises throughout the investment process will be key factors for Nghệ An to attract and retain strong DDI enterprises in the coming period.
The last story to end our news today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye for now and see you later.